What's up, guys? Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, bringing you guys our Week 5 match, taking on Loco Ghoul and the New Jersey Houndooms, in Red Season 8. We have taken on Loco twice before, and we are undefeated against him, so we're looking to keep that up. He's had an unsuccessful season so far. He's really not finding very much success, and so hopefully, things pick up for him. Obviously, you guys can see his record down there. It's not going super well for him, and we're right in the middle of the pack fighting for a playoff berth right now. As I expected, we would be. This is easily my most competitive league, and I treat this with the highest level of prep, honestly, out of all of my leagues. So let's run through his team then. He has the Excadrill, T-Tar, Gyarados, Sylveon, Latias, Heracross, Vikavolt, Magmortar, Gastrodon, Gourgeist, and Quillfish. Excuse me. I really wasn't expecting the Gastrodon and their Magmortar, and we see the Gastrodon shows up, so I'm a little bit surprised to see that. Probably a decent Suicune check, like a Calm Mind Coon check for him, although I am not that set at all. I'm also not even a Crocoon set, which would easily be able to 1v1 the Gastrodon there, but I'm not running that set. So I'm not sure what to make of his team. Obviously, I was definitely expecting the Quillfish to come. He's probably going to bring Hazard Sack against me. Makes a lot of sense. People have brought it against me all season. I didn't bring removal this game, so the Quillfish definitely a threat there. Gastrodon, really not scared of the Gastrodon, like, even slightly at all. Excadrill could be a threat into Sand. If it's not a Sand Rush variant, he brought Sand Force, Scarf Sand Force last week, and that was a threat, but not as scary without the speed control. I don't really care about the speed control this game. The only thing that's going to outspeed is like Chomp or Persian, but my Chomp is outspeeding max speed Drill anyways, if he's not a Sand Rush variant, so should be fairly easy unless he's Scarfed. Heracross looking like a threat, but most likely I think that Aggron can take it on relatively well with the counter set that I'm running. I'm not sure what to think about the T-Tar, most likely a Rock Setter. That's pretty much all I'm seeing on it. And the Lottie I'm sketched out about because I don't know what it could be. Yeah, so that's sort of what I'm rocking with there. If you haven't seen the team builder, you should check that out. It is the video that would have gone up before this one, titled Red Season 5 Team Builder, or Season 8 Week 5 Ladner Lanturn versus New Jersey Houndooms Team Builder. That's what it'll be titled. So go enjoy that. Mega Aggron's fully physically defensive with counter for the T-Tar, the Heracross, the Excadrill, the Gyarados as well would have been a viable option. Belly Drum Magmortar potentially if he was going to bring that. I didn't think it was a bring, but there you go. Heavy Slam, Rocks, and Toxic are the other moves. Suicune is running Toxic, Roar, Protect, and Surf. I don't want to burn him. I'd rather Toxic Mons, so I'm not running Scald. I'm running Surf. Mixed defensive on the Suicune there. I'm not entirely sure what I want to be. Alolan Persian is speedy, max HP with knockoff, parting shot, toxic, and protect to stall out sand turns and toxic turns against him. Decent matchup against most of this. I would have much rather had foul play, but knockoff is good to get rid of items against this team. Items were really a problem against me, and something like a Calm Mind Sylveon could have been a really big problem. So Toxic stalling that would have been nice. I'm an Adamant Sandvale Garchomp with Brightpowder, which is legal. I double checked and triple checked if this Garchomp set was legal. It's 100% legal. 100% accurate moves have a 72% chance to hit me now, which is really fun. And so we'll see if that's going to come into play this game. In the sand that the T-Tar is going to set. I have no doubt in my mind that the T-Tar is going to be Sandstream. I'm running Toxic for the Gastrodon, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, and Poison Jab for the Sylveon, which didn't come, so I never have to click Poison Jab realistically. I just have to spam Earthquake and Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw's got a pretty decent matchup against most of his team, and then I'd click Earthquake against like T-Tar, Quillfish, Excadrill, Dragon Claw against the Gastrodon and the Heracross, although Earthquake's two-shotting Gastrodon if he's especially defensive. And then depending on if the Lottie can hit me or not, I've got the Dragon Claw for that too. Reuniclus is Acid Armor, Psyshock, Focus Blast, Recover, so very physically defensive set. Can't really do much to the Lottie, which is annoying, but it beats everything else there. Clefable is Cosmic Power, Calm Mind, Moonblast, and Softball. It's my endgame win con, and hopefully it's my Lottie check as well, depending on his set. So that's what's going on with my team. So I'm just going to lead with the Alolan Persian. Really good matchup against anything, honestly, just parting shot out and whatnot. I'm just going to knock off the T-Tar here. There's no way he kills me with any hit, and he's going to go for the Stone Edge. That really didn't matter that much. You know, the Stone Edge Mist didn't really matter too much because it wasn't going to kill me anyways, but getting rid of the Shuckaberry gives me a lot of info here. So, tells me that the Excadrill is probably not Sand Rush because he doesn't have Smooth Rock. It also lets me know sort of how bulky this is. I didn't bother calculating it. We were going pretty fast. I'm actually in the middle of an NHL game, and I kind of wanted to get back to that. So we're going relatively quickly here as we go through. So yeah, I'm just going to parting shot out on the T-Tar here, as I have no real reason to stay in. You know, after I knock off, there's not much I can do here, as the Garchomp is going to come in on his rock. So I'm fine with him getting up rocks. Really no skin off my back, as I'm going to Dragon Claw, and he's going to miss the Avalanche. So let's talk about this sequence of plays here. So I went for the Dragon Claw. I crit him. You know, that may have mattered depending on how physically defensive he was. He probably still would have killed me at -1 with the Avalanche, especially because I hit him, so it would have been double power. I was predicting the Latias to come in because it was his only ground check, or like Heracross to come in on my Earthquake. We'll never know if Sandvale or Brightpowder was the problem with him missing Avalanche. I was just laughing really hard when he ended up missing a move against my Garchomp that's meant to dodge moves. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty funny that we ended up dodging. I'm just going to click the Earthquake here, as he's going to go into the Quillfish, and he's just going to sack his Quillfish to the Earthquake. I think he may have expected another Dragon Claw. I'm not entirely sure where he was going with that one. But even at -1, I'm an adamant Garchomp because I can be against his speed tiers. So, you know, that Quillfish was was dropping without an Air Balloon, honestly. I have no idea what item it was, no idea what the set was, but he's not getting up more hazards than just his rocks against me. So in comes the Heracross here. I'm not super scared of this. I'm just going to go for the Dragon Claw. If he's Scarf, he won't kill me, and I can scout out see what set he is. And he is the Flame Orb SD set. So I'm going to go hard into my Coon here. Just scout out see what sort of damage he's doing. As the Facade comes off, does 57%. I wasn't calcing. Turns out he wasn't Guts. He was Swarm the entire time. So the Facade was just doing regular damage instead of Guts boosted damage. Yeah, not what you want to see from Loco. I'm really sorry, Loco, if you're watching this. Like, this is just, it was not your game, my friend. There's not much you could have done about it, but I'm just going to go for the Protect, stall out some more burn turns on this. Realistically, if he sets to +4, it doesn't matter, because I can just bring in Chomp on this. I'm just putting him in a range where Dragon Claw is going to kill him. Obviously, I was a -1 Dragon Claw before, so should be able to just take him out here, as he's going to swap into the Gastrodon. And we'll see how much damage this does. 51% for my Dragon Claw. So even if Dragon Claw is out of range here, Earthquake is always killing this, and I'm not afraid of the Latias coming in on me anymore. So that's dead. In comes the Latias now. Now I'm afraid, so I'm going to go hard in my Clefable, as he's going to Calm Mind. And I'm not entirely sure what he's doing, so I'm just going to keep Calm Minding alongside him. And we're going to have a Calm Mind war here for a couple turns. Realistically, that's all you need to see. And then here he reveals the stored power, and he does 64% to me. So really not what you want to see. I should have Moonblasted at some point in here. But now that we see the stored power, I'm a lot less threatened by this Latias, if I'm being honest. We'll sort of see what set he could be, but I'm just going to let my Clefable go down to the stored power. If he's Calm Mind stored power, he's probably got Recovery, and then I'm not sure what the last move would be. So I'm going to knock off and see what item he's got. He's Z Crystal as he recovers. It looks like he can't really touch me, as I miss a Toxic. Doesn't really matter. He's just going to Calm Mind again. Again, he can't touch me. And we're going to find out in a couple turns here that his last move is actually Refresh. So his set is entirely walled by my Alolan Persian. I'm sure he was expecting the Alolan Persian, so I'm a little bit surprised to see that he brought a set mono-walled by Persian. But he did, as we see the Refresh now. Turns out he was actually Z Refresh, Normalium Z Latias, which sort of dealt with knockoff spam against him. So in comes the T-Tar now, as I'm going to knock off again. Again, I'm doing very pitiful damage, but I'm just going to be able to Parting Shot into my Aggron. Now, it's not that big a deal to get my Aggron in here. You know, it can deal with his physical attackers that are still left, which is beautiful. Obviously, you see Crunch there doing 12% at -1 to my physically defensive Aggron, 10 after I Mega Evolve and Heavy Slam. You know, T-Tar is very heavy. I definitely could have countered there and done a lot, but I'm in a position here where I can just get out my rocks. It's good chip against the Heracross. It's going to take, leave 12% on the Heracross, which is useful. And the Latias will get chip, and the Excadrill will take a little bit of chip, you know, just in case he's Sash Excadrill. So after the defense drop, the Heracross did 0 to me with close combat because he's obviously not Guts. Excadrill is going to come in here. I thought about clicking counter, but once we see Moldbreaker, I realized he's probably another SD set, which is interesting because he had like zero speed control on this team unless he was like Scarf Coolfish. Yeah, like actually 0 speed control. So my Garchomp outsped everything bar the Latias, and I'm just going to Heavy Slam him. It really makes no difference. It's doing a lot of damage. 120 base power because Excadrill is really light. And so even if I drop here, it doesn't matter. He shows off the Life Orb, which means Garchomp can come in. I click Earthquake against this for free. And the Latias can't do anything to me. I'm adamant, and Dragon Claw is going to obliterate it. He needs boosts to be able to deal with my Chomp with Storm Power. So we're just going to pick up the clean 3-0 win. Reuniclus didn't even have to hit the field, which is really nice because Reuniclus, Reuniclus could have put in work, but it was hampered a little bit by that Latias set entirely. Like Reuniclus would have been completely worthless against that Latias. Besides like recover stalling. So pretty fun there. And week 6 we take on Big Bill Standish and the Adelaide Haunch Grows. Should be a fun one. We played Bill last season, picked up a really tight win. Bill likes to bring some crazy stuff. My Buzzwole ended up walling his Zygarde because he dropped the HP flying on his Zygarde last season. He brought like a Stall Articuno, and I brought like a Taunt Recover Mega Alakazam to shut down the Stall Articuno. He's got a really fun team. It's a really hard-hitting team. The speed tiers are kind of all over the place, just like Locos, but a little bit faster, like lots of threats that are really fast, and lots of really good wall breakers against my team. So excited to play against Bill and the Bastiodon once again, and I will see you guys for week 6.